In today's video of Christ in Crafting, I'm going to show you how I messed up and then I think I did a good job of fixing it. I had this idea of creating a two-tone effect. I had this round piece of wood that was a serving tray, but it had a big crack in it. And so I knew that I was going to have to cover it up with a mold, but I went ahead and I laid down a foundation of aviary. I pre-mixed it with Sweet Pickens Milk Paint's top coat because I wanted a matte look. It made it a little bit translucent, so I had to put 3 coats of this paint to cover it fully. I've been using my yogurt cups for painting. They work out so great. You could put big top in one, paint in the other. They're the flip it ones, the Greek yogurt. I recommend them. Anyway, I went ahead and I mixed up some aviary with big top to do my two-tone effect. I had this really large wall stencil and it was just about perfect for this tray, and so I went ahead and I did the pouncing method because when you mix big top with your paint, it definitely thins it out, and so I didn't want to have any bleed through, and I just did it slowly. I held it down with one hand and I applied it with the other. I'm still determined to make this two-tone effect work, so I'm going to try it again, but next time the stenciling will be done after I'm done with the sign. Another idea you could do is just add a little bit of white or black to the paint to add a little bit of a difference. But next I'm taking Iron Orchid Design air dry clay and I'm using the Fleur de Lis mold. I have several videos using Iron Orchid Design clay and molds that you can watch them on the playlist. Once I got my castings out, I went ahead and I laid them in position, just trying to see exactly where I wanted them. And then I pulled out my Type Bond Quick and Thick glue and I applied it to the back and put them exactly where I wanted them. Now what's great about the clay is that it's totally moldable, and I wanted it to go around the side, and it worked just great. And plus it has a little bit of a dip in there, so you just fit it exactly how you need to. I just used my finger to apply it, but you could use a cheap brush if you wanted. Just make sure that you clean it really well, otherwise you just have to throw it away. You can purchase any of the products that I used today. All of my links are in the description below. You can also click on the link to follow this playlist for Christ in Crafting. I have several friends that have joined me and some of the videos are on their pages. So please go ahead and subscribe to all of our pages. We would greatly appreciate it. If you have any questions, comment below. Let me know. Have you ever had major mishaps and how did you handle them? I wanted to try an image transfer using wax paper. I cut it to size and I put it through my inkjet printer, and I didn't really think it all through. I was just trying to make the sign and trying something different. So what you do is you just rub it on. Now, the text that I printed was practice hospitality. In the Bible, it encourages us in 1 Peter 4:9 to be hospitable to one another without complaint. In Romans 12:13 it says, contribute to the needs of the saints and seek to show hospitality. Another translation says, be eager to practice hospitality. Hebrews 13:2 tells us, do not reject, to extend hospitality. And then even in Ephesians 4:32 it tells us to be kind to one another. Hebrews 10:24 says, let us consider one another in order to stir up love and good works. And so I didn't want to put be kind, not that that's not a good message, but there's a lot of signs saying be kind. I wanted something a little bit different, and so I chose practice hospitality because it is a serving tray, and I really like the idea of that. So after I rubbed off my image transfer, it worked. It looked like it was going to be a little bit light, but when I sealed it, it really did come to life. The problem that I encountered was I forgot that I did this with an inkjet printer. And here is what happened. But before I show you my big mess up, I did apply a little transfer from Brocante in the center underneath my text, and I really like the way that added to it with the laurels and the little image. I really like the way that it looked. I have a playlist showing lots of tutorials using decor transfers. If you want to look at them after this video, go ahead to the playlist called IOD Fun. You just want to use that burnishing stick and rub it on there, and then once it applies, then you just want to burnish it down. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. And I knew that I was going to hate it, and I didn't think it through. I can still, even though I went ahead and I sealed the entire thing with Sweet Pickens top coat, because I added the transfer and I was going to have to seal it. However, I can see, I didn't think I was going to be able to see, but because it was almost like a raised stencil, I can see the tone-on-tone stencil. But this went ahead and it smeared because I wasn't thinking that I used an inkjet printer for the transfer, and so it did come out really nice and clear. I should have sprayed it with Big Top before I sealed it. I promise I practice what I preach. It's just paint, right? So we can paint over it, we can start over, we can fix it. Everything is fixable. So what I did was I grabbed my painter's tape and I cut out the image. I reprinted it onto tissue paper, onto napkin, the 1 ply of napkin, and I was figuring out exactly where I wanted my line, and I went ahead and I applied the painter's tape. Once I had the tape adhered, then I went ahead and I applied 1 nice thick coat of White Swan, and it covered up beautifully. I went ahead and I put down my napkin, and the paint was a little bit damp in certain sections, and so it just kind of helped to keep it still. And I just worked out some of the wrinkles and air pockets with my finger, being very, very careful because this paper is very, very fragile. To decoupage, I used the Sweet Pickens top coat. I'd never used it for decoupaging, and I wanted to do it. Plus, I wanted that matte look, and I liked the way that it worked out. And I just used my brush to apply it down, work out the wrinkles, make sure there was no any air pockets in there, and I love the way that it turned out. Thank you, friend, for watching. Thank you for liking and subscribing and commenting. I thank you in advance for doing that. I hope that you were inspired. When you have a mishap, it will work out. And most importantly, don't forget to practice hospitality, kindness, and serving one another. It's our simple way of glorifying Jesus. Let's do it together. I hope that you have an incredibly blessed day.